This is just Spain. We got a main town, lovely little chapel, and then what looks like an awesome derelict house. Just behind it. Well, that's a big unit. Big unit. My goodness. Quite nice. We're Cockerel. 3 minutes out, the absolute centre of the historic town. I can smell cows. Cockerel's talking to me. Gosh, you can tell lots of people are joining the trail tonight who are up late last night. Not being too noisy, but the bars were absolutely rammed. 10:30 when I finally fell asleep. They weren't keeping me up, but I was normally bars would be dead by then. On the Camino. God, that's a banging place. I think they've got all this garden at the back. Acre land, maybe. It's nice. Right. I'm not even 10 minutes in, and we're out street lights. Woohoo! We like that. That's the bridge this morning. Little stream buried away in the undergrowth. Possibly needs a bit more love. Become very rustic very quick this morning. Love that. I was saying in the guidebook that this is the most photographed section of the Camino. I wonder whether it's actually has much to do with the fact that most people come to Sarria, and that's where they start their walk. So one, it is pretty, but two, they're just starting on an exciting journey for 3 or 4 days. These ancient, noble trees strung here. I've seen no end of pilgrims walk up here. I'm guessing they're going to be over 100 years old. Here come in. Actually in pollarded, I think. Mankind usually has a negative effect on the environment, but strangely when we go in coppice or pollard trees, we extend their life quite dramatically. I think it's like 2 to 3 times. Oh, little robin. It's a nice little rise. Just going a little flat bit. It's really quite humid and warm this morning, so doing a little bit of work going up the hill. Wow, it's a lot more pilgrims. We would normally expect largely to have the road to ourselves at sort of after 6 in the morning, but we've got quite a lot of other pilgrims, and very clearly sort of people that have just joined at Sarria. Go on. Lots of people do the Camino in lots of different ways. God, this looks like a little Dartmoor lane. But, quite a lot of people do a week each year, or split the Camino into thirds and do a third each year. Some like us do it as a through hike all the way through. Quite a lot of people stop at Santiago. I think particularly the ones that come in at Sarria, so We've spoken to several Spanish hosts at the Albergue, and they said, you know, it's the main reason that Spanish people do it is to get their, look, 111. It's not going to be too long before we break the 100. It'll take us about under an hour, I think. Yeah, so most Spanish people do it to get their Compostela, their pardon for their sins, which I suspect is probably, you know, a bit like being confirmed at home. But yeah, I don't think many people get confirmed at home because they think they're going to go to hell if they don't. It's just part of the sort of tradition and rituals of the society we live in. Some people do, but not me. Looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Nice little flyover over there. We shot loads of these in Portugal. We decided that they're pilgrim prisons, actually grain stores for maize, although they would normally have. Oh, you can try and go the wrong way, but we're going to eat you. That's our dogs. Oh, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goodness me. Yeah, they come in thick and fast. It's unusual using they still lie. Oh yeah, lumps of stone as the stakes. I've not seen that before. So those a little bit like Devon. It's not, because in Devon we'd only be able to see a view when we got to a gateway. You end up being in these green tunnels with the high banks and the hedge on top. It's a little bit like Brittany. Brittany's not so, well, there are bits of Brittany that are bumpy. A little bit like Normandy, but Normandy's got the hedges. I think it's probably like Galicia. Happens to be where we are. Another cockerel. Happy sounds. Got some horses this morning. It was good seeing a goat yesterday. And these grain stores that are different to the ones we saw in Portugal. In Portugal, they've carved granite pillars to create the air channels and keep the maize inside. And they're not as narrow. These are ridiculously narrow. Here they use bricks to go and create the airflow through, and maybe the same sort of height, but half the width of the ones we saw in Portugal. It's nice. I've just left the road bit, which actually was very pleasant. There's a real wave of people behind us. They said we were going to notice the pick up a volume. We sure are. So we're feeling very homely at the moment. A little bit of a breeze picked up, which is quite nice, so it's a little bit fresher. And we've got a very light mizzle. So, go at home. Ridiculous number of these things. 108.7, or if they like to do it in metres, 108,700 and something. Definitely too many of them. The intensive pig unit, they're not nice. Luckily, the modern trend these days is to keep mountain fields and little pig arcs, so they can have a fairly natural life. Amazingly clean pigs, so I like to go one area for the toilet, one area for sleeping, and one area for digging and rooting. Green corridors, Game of Thrones. I've finally given in and started watching the Game of Thrones. I'm not enjoying it. But, I'm only in season 1, episode 8, I think, early days. One of my friends on the Camino said it's really worth watching. It's very similar to the power struggles you see in modern society today. Oh, okay, all right. So, got that out of my back of my mind while I'm watching it. Yeah, it is proper missing. Yeah, usually I go cut the grass and can't quite figure out why. Rope. Good old dead mizzles. The mizzles actually cooled it down a bit, which is nice. But, we had to go put that waterproof on. Not too bad. Very popular ponchos at time. It's interesting. I'm trying to think why up in the mountains, which that's my training. Ponchos don't work, so they just blow around, just become a flappy flag. On the Camino? Yeah. Well, we haven't said that, there's some mountainous stuff as well. I've not tried one, so it would be unfair for me to pass judgment. It's a challenge with the Camino. You're not sure what you're going to get. Talking to Brad the other night, and the pass that we did a few days back. We did it 1 year and it was blowing. No, actually this year, when he went across over the top of the Pyrenees, they had 60-mile-an-hour winds. The poncho's not going to work then. I mean, I guess that's unfair. It will work, but it'll be horrendous flapping around and make life more difficult for yourself. Rather than the guy on the right, he's got the more traditional sort of mountain attire. He's nice and neat, isn't he? And if you've got to go and do some first aid and take your rucksack off, and if you're a discreet unit with your waterproof some, we're typically English. I've got quite a beastie Montaigne, quite a heavyweight thing. It's got cracking great, you can't really see, but whopping great pit zips. Actually, it's surprisingly cool. And some waterproof jackets are really pleasant to wear next to your skin when it's hot and sticky. This is one. I've got a North Face one, which is also Gore-Tex, but there's so many different types of Gore-Tex. That's like a cook in a bag. It's much more lightweight than this one, but when it gets hot, it's clammy and on your skin, which is what you don't want. And then we've got waterproof trousers, and I've got little tiny gaiters to go with me. I don't like getting wet feet. I suffer from athlete's foot, although we've managed that well on this trip. I spray my shoes with athlete's foot spray every night, so that's dry in the morning, and wash my socks every day, and they're great. But I know if I've got wet feet, so the recommendation is to wear summer trainers that are not Gore-Tex lined for the Camino, and definitely when you're across the Meseta and it's dry, it's like, oh gosh, yes. But if my feet get wet and stay wet all day, they start to get soft and wrinkly and it's horrible. So mine are Gore-Tex ones, which are great when I get home, and then when I stop pretty religiously, probably won't do it today because it's wet, but normally I religiously take my shoes and my socks off. Here's my feet, here's my socks, here's my shoes, and then we'll probably have 2, maybe 3 stops a day, especially when it's really hot. And I find that works great. I got my Bridgedale. They're quite a lightweight ankle sock. There we go. They wick really well, and they're merino wool polyester. I got a whole host of synthetic and natural fabrics in there, and it's quite a magic little mix. And they're actually, I haven't found them. We've been in some hot weather, and number 2106 still taken away. Maize. Yeah, no, it's worked really well. I've been a bit brave. I brought 3 pairs of socks because I wash them every day and they dry overnight. I sent the other 2 home. In hindsight, I think maybe I should have kept one spare. They don't weigh very much. Should have kept one spare set in my bag. I have got a when we were in, I don't know, one of the towns, went into a very nice walking shop, and he persuaded us to buy some thin synthetic socks with silver woven in them, particularly for Kerry's feet. But we both wore them for a day and didn't like them. They don't wick the moisture from your feet. So I mean, my socks were really, really damp that evening. So I just literally wore them for one day. I have still got them in my bag. It's kind of like a backup pair of socks if I need them. These grain stores. We had the ones with bricks. This is the one with wood in it. A little flange at the bottoms to keep the rats and the mice and bits and pieces out. Oh look, like the steps don't join to the grain store, so the rodents can't go and jump up. In its day, that would have been incredibly precious, wouldn't it? That would have been your bread and your pastries store. You were probably going to die if your grain store got rancid. Like your dandelion and burdock. Here's burdock. It's a biennial. It goes for 2 years. I think the other one with coats is the Billy Connolly syndrome. No such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. Of course, everybody says it, but I think there is some truth in that. To actually buying yourself a nice raincoat that you can wear at the town if it's persisting down, as it does in Devon an awful lot, or you know, go out in the countryside or up on the top of the fells. That you want a nice coat that you're going to be comfortable in whatever the weather. I think a raincoat hits that more than a poncho does. So, whatever gets you out, yeah, great outside. It's the lovely sounds of the birds. We're 105k from Santiago. Ready for another coffee stop. Ooh, I'm quite liking the mist on the top of the trees up there. That look nice. Rather than fog today, it's just that Devon mizzle. But actually, as it's got a little bit wetter, it's got a little bit cooler. So not quite as muggy as it was earlier. Chervil. It's got a slightly aniseedy flavour. It's actually really quite nice. Smelling at my hand. Mouse barley. What incredible colour! I like that. New one on me. Mouse barley. Chervil and hemlock are very similar plants. That's like, oh, that sort of family of plants you've got to be super careful with. So one that that's old boy in there. Oh, the dog watching me. Saying, what are you doing? You asked my owner. I'm going back to bricks for the store. Awful lot of vending machines. We're after a cafe. I think the next one's about 4k away. That one was about to open, but not quite. We weren't that keen and we're going to wait for it to open. We've been caught out before they opened the door, and then you got to wait for the coffee machine to warm up, and before you know it's half an hour before you get your drink. Some pretty flowers. That looks like that must be Ford's, doesn't it? They've probably got a factory license to produce. Oh, hello. Oh, dogs everywhere. I reckon they have a license to produce a Ford tractor under an Ebro name. I'll go and Google it and find out. Ford Iberica was it was a joint venture with a factory in Barcelona and Ford in the 1920s, and in 1954 Ford pulled out, and then they were rebranded and became Motor Iberica, and then eventually Ebro, which makes buses and lorries and the light tractors. But hence why the little tractors look like little Fords. They are. You could really be walking up on the edge of Dartmoor here. Oak trees and moss covered rocks. Of course, considerably drier. But I think that will change as we move to the Atlantic. Big modern houses, old farmyards. Camino, 103.885. Mist-clad hills. Isn't that like Cornish or Devon granite? Quite a few of these. Nice little babbling brook. Impressive granite paths. Ooh, wet fields. We're getting pretty close now. I think we're about 103 kilometres. There's a cafe stop before that. Talking to a lovely lady with her daughter. I was going to say I spoke to her daughter as well, but we didn't. She was engaged in her phone. From America, she's an attorney. Has a tough job, does all the child abuse cases. She seems pretty robust. Been doing it for a long time. But it was just astounding. Talking about, she was apprehensive of starting in Sarria and doing this last 100k or 114 I think is from Sarria. I was saying, like, just take it nice and easy, and now materialise it. She doesn't walk anywhere. I think her office is just down the hall from the court. So she says she normally walks maybe 3,000 steps a day, and I said, well, you must go out and walk in the countryside and the trees. She said, no. And I said, she said, got a dog? I said, oh, wait, take a dog out for a walk. No, that's just in the backyard. Well, I expect you to play golf, don't you? No, I don't play golf. It's like, holy shit, you really don't do any walking. So I'm sure she's going to do really well, but it's just going to be a little bit of a shock for her. And she's been quite clever that she's getting her bags moved on each day. And the hassle with that is, of course, you've committed yourself to walk a particular distance, but you can also get a taxi if you find it gets too much towards. That's the key with the Camino, not getting locked in. I think you've got to do it a particular way, being kind of flexible, adapting, strength through adaptability. The Zen way, apparently.
We had in the series.
Oh gosh, it was almost scary. There was so many of them. You liking my cake? Yep, one time. Looks like, oh, I was going to say it looks like 135. It's not 155. There we go. Sensible sized little tractors. Oh my goodness, Ebro as well. I was assuming because it was red, it must have been a Massey. Maybe she's the grill on the front. That's a bit sad. Isn't it? Grill on the front's a Massey grill. So Ebro must have had a contract. Oh, a collie in there. Hello, sweetie. Ebro must have had a contract with Massey Ferguson as well, I guess. Oh, I want to take a photo. Taking a video. Kind of cool. Got a little stream running down next to us. We are, I think we're like 101.3, something like that. But, it's funny, isn't it? Does it really make any difference when we get to 100 kilometre bit? Yeah, it does. Just one of those little markers. Oh. And we've got lots and lots of kids groups on the Camino who are being very judgmental. Naughty of us. There was an American group go through and the lecturer shot off with a group of kids that were having a great time and left a girl there that was really struggling. She broke down in tears when they all left without her. It's like, God, guy, you really a professional teacher? Felt like kicking him in the balls. I'm liking this bit of path, it's kind of cool. Although we've lost the stream. Oh, where's Kerry? Lost her. Hi, babe. Caught up with a clown. Oops, sorry.
Right, I saw them and walked straight into them.
Back in view. Lots and lots of lots of happy folk. Cool. There you go. How many times have you seen a farmer going in, cutting out the Hadley heather, as we call it around here, by hand? He's a tough bunny. He's got a lovely suckler herd there. Good on you, mate. Just astounding, isn't it? We're going back 60 years, I'm guessing. I mean, much nicer actually going around cutting out those reeds with a hook than it would be. Well, you wouldn't do it with a strimmer. It sounds like an angry hornet. At home is done with a topper, so you're sat on a tractor and whizzing around. So I mean, my goodness, you've gone modern day. You're going to be an air-conditioned tractor with your stereo and a nice air-sprung seat. In my childhood, it would have been like that little 135, and you might have had a cab, you might not have. A cab, if anything, is just a sound box that amplifies the noise of the tractor as you're going along. 101.277. Got some beehives. So in this day that would have been me, but now it's for Mark and Nikki. Oh, come on, focus on the beehives. You can do it. There we go. I would say, I don't know, Langtroth, modified, Dandant, something like that. That neck of the woods there, these modified nationals, or if you want something that's really pretty, a WBC hive. Gosh, that is a nice view with these whopping great bits of rock really than slate, aren't they, for the roof? Yeah, so national hives are really quite small frames as for the bees, and then I think maybe Langtroth's the next size up. But cracking little tractor here. So I've got a slurry mixer. There we go. Wonderful. I don't know what it's a farmer or it's his wife, but he liked their roses. How beautiful. Cool. Oh, got the dairy milk tank outside. There's the potatoes. Oh, we've got a dog following us. Hello. Woof woof. Said you were pausing too long. Oh, lots of dogs. Got a collie in there. Oh. Yeehaw. Oh my goodness, lots of dogs. We've got 2 dogs that can keep us company. What are you doing? Close. 175. 1,000. 100,757. Oh, 100 kilometers, 0.7. Let's go for that. It's just way too much, all these meters. I like meters, but when you start talking about hundreds of thousands of meters, it's like, ah, come on, let's be sensible. Oh, and we got another one. They do come up rather quick. I bet even this one's not going to be the 100 kilometer one, or the 100,000 meter one. Let's see. I'm listening to Robin Williams with Parkinson. It's quite a long one, 25 minutes. Oh, gosh, it's just so funny. Look at it. 100,707 meters. It's like, come on, guys. Do we really need to have one there? It's got a different feel here. It suddenly feels like a bit like the foothills of the Alps for a second. Oops. I'll do a photo. 485 photos before we get the 100 kilometer one. Oops. I'll do a photo. 485 photos before we get the 100 kilometer one. It's obviously some good photo because all the kids are messing around taking a photo. But we don't think we're at the 100 kilometer mark yet. I love these cafes and they got seats either side of the road. There's always surprises around the corner, so look at this surprise. Look at that for I don't know, what is it? Is it, oops, Nope, going wrong way. I don't know what it's, a crypt or yeah, well there we go. Whatever it is, it's new. Oh, it's lost one of the bits. Oh, it's lost several bits, that's kind of a shame. Maybe the locals have not I'm more interested in the grass cutter. Look at this, with a trailer. This is great. Oh wow. Look at that. Oh, we got a goose. We need to be more worried about the goose than the dog. Oh, the dog's tied up. Oh, it's a setter. Hello, sweetie. Very frustrated being tied up. All right. We won't give you a hassle. Yeah, look at this. That is awesome. We got this piece up here for a little trailer. There's oil. I'm loving it. I bet that sounds awesome. Let's go and have a look at this thing. Yeah, it's definitely a big... There we go. Don't normally like the churchyards in. Yeah, there we go. This one's actually way prettier than lots of the other ones we looked at. Some of them look like, oh my goodness, it's really pretty and elaborate. But some of the ones we've been asked, they look like the storage containers you go and hire at home to go and put your stuff in. There we go. This is a bit silly. 100 2x2. Just like.
You hear that cyclist?
No.
He was coming down the road.
Yep.
And obviously you could see the hill.
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
And there's that big group, and so he was coming down the hill going, Come on, Camino! Literally the top of his voice.
Get out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
A pebble shrine. I was enjoying the view. I was going to take a photo. It's been stopped again. That's got to be the 100k now. And then we can relax. We'll worry when we get down to, I don't know, 50 maybe. Another little tractor. Cracking view. Oh, dinky little round baler. It's kind of cool. You can see what it does. I want a photo on 100k mark. Only in Galicia, 99,930, and the 100 one is just the other side of the group of kids. Ridiculous number of way markers in Galicia, but they're kind of fun. 100-kilometre bar, which I imagine it does well at times. Video this bit, there's the chicken. It's like, wow, I got a Rhode Island red. And it is quite a cool, they just are all of a sudden everywhere. Although when we went to Portugal early in the year, you'd find on the edge of the village there might be, oh my goodness, 10, 20, 30 odd. But, these seem to be every farm, so it has one. Oh, well, two in that case. It's a different farm. Look at the hollyhocks, I think. They are gorgeous. They're mallow. And mallow is very pretty. And we've got hollyhocks. Look at the size of those beams they're putting up there. Or repairing. It's like, wow. And these are unusual, they're little slots. I'm not quite sure what that's about. I wonder if it's like a Devon longhouse. I wonder if it was animals underneath. JD. And a house above. Chair watching all the pilgrims walking past. In this particular case, it's a horsey. Oops. Oh, that's a cockerel. That's a change. Liking this little fire and an oven for the pilgrims. An old cart bed. Oh, and look, there's a grain drying, whatever they call them. I'm going to find out what they're called. Oh, it's lovely. Just got this lovely weaving track that we're on now. And it goes through little farms. Occasional cafe pop up. Loving it. This place is really cool. Really, really cool. The mirror is a bit deceiving if you go under here. Oh. Some good English summer weather. They're kind of cool, these little lawnmowers, aren't they? That'll be way more fun than going and mowing your lawn yourself. Look at this view. Amazing. The music they're playing in there reminds me of Austin Powers in a really nice way. Austin Powers is just brilliant, isn't it? Having heavy showers. Oh, there's cattle and tractors. What a heady mix. Over in the shed. John Deere's. And this place is very... Oh, look at the cat! How cool's that? We've seen several cats asleep on the tiles because it's nice and warm. Not today. It's a very upmarket place. It's very pleasant. Having a second coffee. Cafe con leches can be a little bit milky, but not here. I've had these views across this valley all morning, and they it's clearing up a little bit. I'm loving the fact you can see the wind turbines. Isn't that cool? We're getting some great the clouds. I want the blue bits through the clouds. Today's walk, got sunnies on, finishes a reservoir, and there's a bridge across the middle of the reservoir. Quite a big beastie. Just before the bridge is a Liberty, probably a peace bell on Camino. So that one's going to be ding ding, and this afternoon it's supposed to be bright sunshine, which definitely seems to be going that way. But getting a few heavy showers. Yeah, we had mizzle this morning. A few very short, heavy showers this afternoon. When the sun comes out, it's got some power. So with a bit of luck, we might be able to find somewhere to go into the reservoir and have a swim. We'll have a see. I'm not quite sure. I think I mentioned it before. And so I think we've got 26 reservoirs in the southwest. 3 of them you're allowed to do water sports on. None of them you're allowed to do wild swimming. I mean, they do sort of triathlon events and bits and pieces, but I guess recreational swimming. It's my mindfulness. But so of course I follow those rules and regulations, and I haven't wild swum in any of those 26 reservoirs. Hand on heart. France, my experience with France is they obviously I'm doing all of them, but I've seen quite a few where they put artificial beaches, and they do go and rope it off, but the rope off bit I think is just the limit of the lifeguards. They have a lifeguard and a cafe there at the reservoirs, so they just turn them into recreational places for people to go and swim, enjoy water sports. Quite often have water slides and all sorts going on there. Spain, I think they're quite officious. It'll be interesting to see. 96k, another wave marker. Got a cracking view. Yeah, so we'll just have to play it by ear to see whether it's somewhere that we can swim in or not. I'll let you know later. Amazing difference between walking on a gravel track and a tarmac. I mean, tarmac's okay. The worst one is concrete pavement slabs you get in the city, so you really feel that jar on your legs. Look at the foxgloves. Woohoo! Aren't they just gorgeous? Just kind of nature showing off. Pick up the walking poles now. And then walking on the grass even better, which is another benefit of my Gore-Tex lined, because the grass is quite wet. But boy, can you feel the difference between concrete pavement slabs, tarmac, gravel and grass. Much more. And this is the first view we've had. I think maybe this is a stork coming. Is it a stork or a bird of prey? No, it's a bird of prey. Can I catch her? There she is. She's going to disappear out of sight. Or he. First view we've had today, opening out to the right. Had this valley on the left for hours and hours. It's been gorgeous. Town. We're not very far. I think it's less than 5k to the end today. So I'm guessing this is not the town. But I would have thought that's a bit too close. And if it is, there's a whopping big. Oh, another one. 2 of them flying together. kite. I've actually got our neck of the woods. It's only red kites, but they've got a whole host of them in Spain. If you remember way back in the Pyrenees, that ended up taking some cool information boards telling you about the different types. A lot of pilgrims on a track today. We're chatting to Rudy. Like we've got this bit here, but if I go down, like you can see them down there. But, although, there we go, look, I've only got one behind me at the moment. Seems to open up a little bit. I think you get little windows that, so we set off pretty early because we thought, oh, we'll miss all the day trippers. And I think we did do that, but the day trippers have been kind of catching us up a little bit, but they're just coming into the cafes as we're leaving them. But, I'm talking to this university student from Philadelphia that we've been walking off and on for the last week, and actually it's going to be all the way into Santiago because the university's paying for the Bao Fumigo to be 96, to be swung, which will be amazing. So we're definitely joining for that. I offered to give them some money, but they didn't want it, so we'll whack some charity. What? Sunshine. Yeah, Rudy was saying he went left yesterday. There's a really, I think it's the oldest monastery on the Camino, and we went right, which Brad said was a prettier one and had a few cafes and bits and pieces. We had a lovely walk yesterday. Rudy said it was a hard walk with, I don't think it had any cafes. Oh yeah, there's the reservoir just there. Sorry, that's our town. And but he was saying different type of tough today. There's just so many people on the Camino, so much so that when you stop and if you want to move from left to right in a path, it's a bit like being on excuse me, a motorway. You've got to sort of look behind you, not to get run over by somebody coming past. No bikes on only had two. They must have got a separate route. There's some little glimpses, I don't think it'll come up on a camera, of the reservoir that's coming up. It's sort of Peak District-y. It's funny, isn't it, how you get different bits that remind you of different parts of the world. I remembered a while back, I've not been there, but in Briançon, there's a guy I know really well that did a lot of coaching early on in my kayaking career. I did my level 2 coaching award with him and several others, but he used to run lots of trips. We used to spend the summer in Briançon, running trips and coaching there, and then just before Christmas he would take a group on a kayaking trip to Nepal every year. And apparently there's a valley just above Briançon which he said you just think you're in Nepal. I've not seen that yet, but we will, because it's one of those places that we like going back to. So we go skiing there most years, so we've not been skiing there the last couple of years. But it's just as lovely in the summer as it is in the winter. And we've not done the Vernon Gorge, which is just a little bit further down. So that's going to happen. Wheelbarrows of grass, where we saw that little tiny grass cutter with a trailer. And I would guess that that's where they're keeping cattle inside all the time and doing zero grazing. So every day they go out and cut enough grass to feed them. But if you've got a wheelbarrow, it's probably only 1 or 2 cattle. Maybe just about to find out. It's a cracking cafe with a view, isn't it? Not that we've just not had one equally nice our side. Smiling the carrot, how nuts it is here. 21st century pilgrims walking along, going through these little farmsteads with farming practices that go back 60 years maybe. But, I reckon probably their sons and daughters are the ones that are running the cafes that we walk through, which are rather awesome. Clarkson would be impressed. Oh, there we go. I'm happy. Seen some chickens. Anything else? Oh, of course, there's a cockerel. Hello, mate. Cock on van. Oh, dust bath. So I think these are sweet chestnuts. Just suddenly changed again. Oh yeah. Farming scenery, 95k. Some pine trees interclassed with chestnut trees. And two green. I'm not a great fan of rain covers for your rucksacks, but somebody had left one in it's a strange thing, like a concrete domed structure, not much bigger than a garden shed. Anyway, somebody had left one in there, so I grabbed one, and now I do use it. And we get little rain showers. It's not really to keep my kit dry, because that's all in dry bags. It's like, oh, I don't really want a wet rucksack. A rucksack used to be many moons ago waterproof. Those days are long gone. All the waterproofing is flaking off. Nice section of path. There's quite big granite edges and steps. We're just coming down towards this reservoir. I've only seen some little glimpses where it's only a couple of k's. I'm not sure I can see it through the trees or something like that, or some more round bells. Kerry goes, she's speaking to me, or the camera. He's a bit different. We're going to witch. Stay fit and healthy in your old age. Keep fit and active, grow some healthy food. Mum is going to walk past some Twinings tea. I mean, that's pretty serious. How exciting. A swift just shot down about 2 foot of the ground past me. It's great walking through all these places. A big lump of rock. Oh, one of the grain drying things. A makeshift greenhouse, I think. Navigating on the Camino is no big. Just look for the yellow arrows. They're quite recent. I think something like 56. So I think it's a priest at in his Citroen. I'm hoping it's a 2CB. We're going to have to go and find out. Drove round and put yellow arrows on the route, and they were yellow because he was able to get hold of a load of yellow paint that was left over from marking the roads cheap, and that was a sort of regenesis in the sort of late 50s of, I mean, obviously the Camino's been walked for thousands of years, but the sort of current uplift in people doing it is down to this one priest with his Citroen and his can of yellow paint.
Wow.
Where did you go?
And then we have to swim the next bit. We got to rent a lift to go. How much of a ding are we going to get? Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. Way smaller than I thought it was going to be, but not to upset the locals too much. It is nice in some water, big chunk of water. Apparently the church up there has been moved stone by stone, and whether it's this side or the other side, the old village is flooded on clear days, so I'm told there's a strong wind. Can you hear me? On a clear day, supposedly you can see some of the ruins of the buildings. It's like, oh yeah, it's not clear enough to see today. Hello, old man. Oh, my legs are talking to me. Lower steps. What a lovely arch into the town. Whew, there we go. Cracking. Kind of nice little town. Yeah, nice, eh? 12:55. All wind blowing through. Merchant on the high street. How cool is that? I'll pick out some chicken food. Liking it. That's chicken grit that I'm struggling to get at home. Aha, so the church it moves. So it's got some cool stained glass. The Grockle shop extraordinaire. Ah, like the bridge. Oh, sorry. Oh, I guess that must have been the bridge over the river at some point.
Yeah, before
And
the
then,
reservoir.
yeah, so they've just kept the steps. There we go. The Peregrino Grockle shops. Oh my goodness. Right.